I still don't understand why I'm being arrested.
Because one reason you want to give me the name. You want to give me no kind of information. That's all I asked for. Give me your name, and I find out who you is.
What does that solve?
Hmm?
What is you knowing my name? How does that help anything?
Because you up in a public place taking pictures of people without permission. You can't do that.
So if I gave you my name, then you wouldn't be arresting me. Is that correct?
Over there, I wouldn't have. Unless you had a warrant or something on you.
Okay, so you wanted my name to see if I had a warrant, so to see if you could arrest me.
No, I wanted your name to see you didn't have no warrant. Make sure you didn't have no warrant. That's what we do. That's what all law enforcement.
You can't just walk up and run people's stuff to check for warrants.
Yes, I can when you're doing something you got no business, man. That is legal.
You already said it was a public area.
But you can't take pictures. You can walk up in there anytime. If you got business, man. If you got business.
I have business.
What business you had over
I was there to photograph and record there and do a public service
You
announcement.
can't do that unless you get asked the city administrator or the mayor. You can't do that.
You do not have to ask permission.
Okay. All right.
Have you contacted the local DA and talked with them yet?
No.
I really suggest you do that.
That's my supervisor.
Captain Lundy?
You contacted the local DA and
No, sir, I haven't.
I really suggest you do
I haven't. That's my supervisor right
Captain
there.
Lundy?
Captain who?
Lundy, how you doing, sir?
Not very good. Not very good.
Okay, how can I help you? How can I help you?
This gentleman has arrested me for taking public photography in a public area and handcuffed me, made me walk over there with my cane in front of me, which was, at least he let me have him in front of me.
Okay.
And he said he's arrested me because I didn't give him my name. But there was, but he's already admitted it was a public area. It's a public area. You're allowed to take photography and photographs in there, which I was doing. Was never asked to leave until this gentleman comes here and forces me out of the, puts his hands on me, forces me out of the city hall over there, and then starts badgering me and then handcuffs me.
Okay.
So the question is that open to the public? Is the lobby open to the public?
It is open to the public.
Okay,
Right?
so anything that's open to the public is
Let me-
accessible to the public,
Okay.
which is protected
Can I
underneath
say
the
this?
person. Absolutely, go
It's
ahead.
like the White House, right? If the White House, if they ask you to leave the White House, you have to leave, right?
Okay, nobody asked me to leave.
I'm saying, it's like the White House, so you can, when asked to leave
No.
a facility,
A public area.
a public place,
Mhm.
yeah.
If there's, in order to ask me to leave
Wait.
public property, it has to be a crime committed.
So, if asked by any official
Mm-hmm.
to leave a public place, if you don't be in compliance with that, then you could be charged with.
Did I leave when you?
No, you didn't. I asked you to step.
You asked me to step out. That's
Right.
that's a request. That was not a
So
statement
That's,
Yes, it was
so
a
that's
statement.
so. Can you be removed from a public place?
for taking public photography in a public
Asked
area.
not to.
I was never asked not to.
I'm just saying that. What I'm saying is I'm just looking at the part that deals with the part of the question that you asked.
Okay, the part of the question I ask is it legal or illegal to take photographs in a public area?
You would have to take that part of with an attorney. What I'm
No,
telling
you're the
you-
one charging. That's what I'm asking.
Well, what's going to happen is, with you being charged,
For what?
then, that's what I asked what he's charged with. And so if he asks you if he was summoned, if a Georgia law enforcement official is summoned to come to any place, this being City Hall, and it's a complaint that comes then from somebody else, then what happened is that give him what we call probable cause to be in that place, this being City Hall. Okay, at that point in time, Georgia law requires that any person that they engage, that person have to have some kind of identification to identify who they are, right? So if a law enforcement official in the state of Georgia asks for you to produce some kind of identification to identify who you are, and you don't comply to that asking, then that's obstruction of justice. And
But
so-
there has to be a crime in order in which he's investigating.
Okay.
There was no crime.
So that part of the argument got to be made in front of a judge because
It can be made here because the charges haven't been submitted yet.
well, here's what happened. If he gonna did what we call a Fourth Amendment, under the Fourth Amendment, right?
Absolutely no
So
Fourth
if he
Amendment.
if he restricted you from
And he searched me as well too, without
by law,
without my
by Georgia
permission.
law, you are considered to be under arrest. In other words,
That's considered a violation. But go
well,
ahead.
but that's what I'm telling you. That becomes
An illegal detainment.
an argument to be made by your attorney, as it correlates in with the Constitution. For him now, if he got you back here, you're on arrest. He gonna tell you what you're gonna be charged with. He gonna charge you, tell you the process.
Well, he's never officially said arrest. He said I was been detained.
Well,
So there is a difference. So technically, I'm under detainment, not arrest.
Well, as I'm looking at it, like I said, for you to be back here.
He brought me back here to speak to you.
I'm saying for you to be back here, for you to have handcuffs on you, for you to be detained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, under the Fourth Amendment, that substantiate what we call an arrest.
Okay, but again, excuse me, are you his supervisor?
I'm the captain of the Uniform Patrol Division.
Are you his supervisor? Because that's
Yes,
how I
I
spoke to. Okay. As a supervisor, you have the right to make a call. Okay. Again, that is an area open to the public,
Okay.
which we already all agree to. We all agree that the First Amendment right gives the right to photograph there as well too, in public areas and public spaces. First Amendment, Georgia Supreme Court's ruled on this many times already. There's already case law. I really request that you guys contact your local DA's office and talk with them before we proceed further.
Well,
Because what you're doing is illegal. Because we've already admitted it's public. I was never asked to leave, so you can't charge with trespassing. Okay?
well, this is what I'm gonna do from this point, because I'm gonna explain to you.
I'm giving you the opportunity to make things right.
Well, hopefully, if it's something that you think that we did wrong, it won't be decided by you telling us how to do what we said.
I just told
by
you.
law.
That's what the law says.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I'm saying. For where we're at right now,
Mhm.
for you, from you and I engaging in dialogue about the law and about this, I'm saying, for you to be sitting right there, arrest or detained, that means that your Fourth Amendment, that means we restrict you from, based upon you say in a public place, we say in a public place, we saying when you're being asked to leave a public place.
Never asked.
Well, that's not up, that part of the debate is not up to me to decide.
But in either case, in order to ask somebody to leave public space, they have to have broken the law. And there's been no law broken. He hadn't even come up with anything.
Well, the first thing I used to you was, if you was at the White House, which is a public
It's not the
place.
White House. That's governed under federal law.
Okay.
We're talking about
So,
Georgia
if you're at the
City
White House-
Hall in Fort Valley.
If you at the White House, or if you at the courthouse, and if they tell you that restrict what you are doing.
In the courtroom, not a public lobby.
And if they tell you to restrict what you are doing,
Mhm.
at that point in time, you need to be in compliance to what they're asking you, because there are agents at that location.
It has to be a lawful order. If there hasn't been any laws broken, then officers cannot give you a lawful order to you to leave. He can't run me out of town just because I'm here in public taking photographs.
I can only tell you that for him to have you back here,
Is it? And I'm not trying to be funny here, but is it because I'm a white guy over here taking photographs in this area?
I don't
Because
look at
his attitude, real quick to me, I think was very unprofessional.
So
Didn't have any.
there's a different process for
No,
that also.
well, no, I'm saying there's different parts to this. What led to where we're at now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're supposed to be his supervisor, and I'm addressing some issues with you that, like I said, we can try to fix now before we go any further with this. Before we have to get attorneys and stuff involved.
I can only tell you for
Mm-hmm.
protect the interests of the agency, to protect the interests of the city.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in here right now, there are no mediation other than the process in which we do once we put a person in handcuffs, bring them back in and book and restrict them.
I want to stop you there. Again, the reason why he brought me to this room was to talk to you. He said, come back here, we're going to be talking to you. I asked to speak to you. That's why he brought me here. It's not because he brought me here for that. Because they tried to make a compromise with me, a deal out there, said, you just give me your name and whatever, we cut you loose.
Who said that?
The other officer over there, he said, that's all we needed over there. Give me your
Did I say
name.
that? Did I say that?
I didn't say you, I said they. Okay? Because there was a bunch of stalking over there. I have to go back and look at the video cameras. And again, both officers had body camera footage on. I request, I'm asking a verbal open records request for both of those body
Well,
cameras.
I can only tell you, this is our procedure, right? Before we even get to beyond where you're at right now.
I'm just
right?
making a verbal request
Yeah.
now.
And so,
For the record.
what you have to do, you have to, once you leave here.
Go to the records department.
Come back up here and then you fill out a form, you got.
I'm making a verbal request for the open
Well,
records,
I mean.
under the Open Records Act.
Like I said, you can make a verbal request, but you're gonna still have to follow our procedure in which we do on the open records. Because a lot of people might.
Well, the law specifies you can make it verbal request.
And then once you did, like you just did, we told you the procedure in which you got to apply to get it. Any kind of footage from here, any kind of report, there's a standing operating procedure that we follow. So you did make a verbal. So with my verbal,
It says,
communication back to
it says
you.
writing or verbal. It gives you two options.
Yeah.
It doesn't say have to be in writing.
It doesn't say we have to do it immediately though, sir.
Within 3 days.
Okay,
Mhm.
you have 3 days.
No,
But
you
that's until the process that you're in right now is done.
No.
After the 3 days and after you've bonded out or made bond or whatever the case may be.
So what am I being arrested for?
Obstruction?
Obstruction for what?
so you finished with me? Y'all finished with me?
Yes, sir.
Is obstruction a secondary charge?
That's charging, cause you ain't gonna, you're
No,
not.
I'm asking, I just need to know what I'm being charged. Obstruction for what?
Hinder my investigation by not giving.
Investigating what?
By not giving your information that I asked for.
What were you investigating?
What I asked you what your name was.
You're investigating who I am.
Yes, sir. And you-
But for what
you
crime?
said
That's what I'm
Did
saying.
he give you his
He didn't
identification?
give me anything. He
I don't have any ID on me.
When he,
Well, you
So
probably.
what's your name, sir?
I asked to speak to legal counsel before I answer any other questions.
Okay.
I did ask for that, did I not?
We can book you as John Doe. We can book you as John Doe
Yeah.
until you make
And
bond.
just let you know, as soon as the,
Until you provide your name, we'll book you as John Doe and you'll be held until you provide the information, all right?
so
What they were doing is, what the officers were doing, is they were investigating a suspicious person, all right?
For what?
You being the suspicious person, having been reported by
The mayor.
administrative that we're working over.
by the
okay?
mayor, mhm,
Okay, so they were investigating a suspicious person.
in a public area.
They were dispatched there or called there or made known
Mhm.
that there was a problem. And at that point, they have a legal right to be there, which means they have a legal right as officers.
What was
to
the
ask you
problem?
For your name and information for reporting purposes.
What was
alright?
what was the reporting
Now,
problem?
That was articulated by the mayor, okay?
But what was the reported
At this
problem?
point-
Nobody
at this
addressed that
point,
with
sir,
me.
At this point, sir, what he's going to do is.
What's your
he's
name,
gonna
by the way? I
book
don't
you
see
in.
your
I'm
name.
Lieutenant Marshall, the
Okay,
sheriff supervisor.
so you're lieutenant too?
All right.
How many lieutenants work
What he's
here?
gonna do, what he's gonna do is, I'm the shift supervisor today, so I'm running things besides Captain Lundy, okay?
Mhm.
What's gonna happen is he's gonna book you in on obstruction charge, right?
Obstruction for
happens
what?
is- What happens is obstruction of officers, okay? What happens is, he finishes booking you in, he's gonna issue a citation for that charge, okay? You have an opportunity to bond out on that charge, okay?
So this is going to jail for,
If you're not able to make bond, then yes, you'll be held until you can make bond.
so I'm being kidnapped for a bond for not giving you my
You
ID.
said you don't give.
So if I give you my ID, does that drop, am I able to get a citation and leave? Is that how that works?
Well, that's what I was getting to, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You still have to make bond on the citation, whether you give us your name, date of birth, or whether you provide a driver license or other ID card, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You still get that citation, you still have to make bond, okay? Now, your citation is not disputable here in this booking room, okay? When he issues that citation, he will explain it to you. He will give you your court date. He will let you know the time of that court date. He will let you know the phone number that you can call so you can understand what the bond amount is if you want to do a property bond and pay that fine amount after the fact, all right? Now, if you're not able to make bond, if you're not able to find a bondsman, yes, you will be held at Peach County Law Enforcement Center until bond is made, all right? Again,
So
your
it does
citation-
not
again,
make
Please
sense.
don't cut me off, sir. Please don't cut me off. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
Again, your citation is not
Mhm.
disputable here. He has explained why you were arrested. It was for obstruction. At that point, it's disputable only in court as far as what he needs to articulate. Okay?
Well,
Now,
do I not have a right to know what the charges are?
Counsel,
Do I not have the right to know the charges?
The thing about it is, you're requesting counsel. We understand that,
Mhm.
but you're going to be booked in the process first.
Okay, now I got a question. Am I not allowed to know what the charges are against me?
He just told you what the
Okay,
charges are.
but obstruction into an investigation for suspicion activity is not a misdemeanor nor a felony. Suspicion is not a crime.
Okay, you from the
Okay.
state of Georgia, sir?
Absolutely.
Okay, what you need to do is you need to research
I-
the charges.
Okay, you're the shift supervisor, correct?
I am.
I
You need to
re-
research your charges.
I respectfully
It's not-
request
it's not
for you to
disputable.
contact the DA's office first before y'all continue further.
Yeah.
Did you,
So you're refusing to contact to verify?
Can you do this?
Okay.
Sure.
Because I lost my password in there.
Put in live scan?
Yeah.
I got
Fort
you.
Valley Police Department.
I'm here to assist you anyway.
Okay, all right. You not need any information, sir?
In fact.
If I give you that, well, I'll be able to leave.
You got your citation book and your
I
citation?
gotta go get it.
Lieutenant Postell.
Either one.
Is it Postell or Postell?
Either one you want to know.
I want to say it correctly.
I've been called both,
Which one would you prefer, sir?
posted.
Postell? Okay. If I give you my name and information, will you issue a citation? I can be on my way to go.
Like you just said, if you can make bond
What is the bond?
for obstruction,
Yeah.
you gonna give me the information?
Under duress, yes.
No.
No, absolutely, under duress.
No,
You don't have to give us any other information at all, sir.
Well, because
We'll
I'm,
do is John Doe.
no, I will give you my information under duress because you're threatening to lock. It is.
Arrest, yes,
Yeah.
but not direct.
It is.
Worse than you, anything like that.
You're threatening to put me in jail.
This is the procedure that we go through with everybody that comes in this book.
Absolutely, you're threatening to put me in jail.
okay.